Okay, hi people. I try not to make emotional videos. Denise Matto hates that, but sorry, you do you and I'll do me. I'm just doing an update for Evan Dennehy's court case today, where he was tricked into, in my opinion, making a plea deal. And the overall title for this video is to survivors and advocates and peaceful protesters stop making plea deals. This is a lot of what Baron David Ward and Andrew Devine trained me in. These solicitors and barristers and judges, you think they're there to help you, and sometimes they talk a good talk. But the minute you make a plea deal, you're making yourself a criminal, and you're then supposed to be grateful. So, like some of the grannies that posted on Facebook or recently, the UK arrests where people get 20 months or, like crazy sentences where paedophiles are getting left off on probation, is because they took a plea deal. Now, um, please, it's it's time we got brave enough to say, um, I'm going to tell the truth no matter what the result is. So when you have solicitors and barristers saying to you, oh, that's bad, you could get 5 years for that or maybe more, but we might be able to work something out if you just plead to that, we could get you off with much less, blah, blah, blah. No, that's seduction. And it seems to me that detectives and some solicitors and barristers are trained in sort of schizophrenic type good cop, bad cop stuff. And I'll give you one really clear example, and I'm going to do an evidence presentation of this, but I got summons, some of you know this, I got summons to court in the wrong name, accused of driving uninsured, which was untrue. I went to court under duress. Uh, the lift wasn't working. It was just I thought I was badly off trying to make it up 2 flights of stairs. There was somebody much worse off than me that had to navigate the stairs. Then I was told, and when I found the lift wasn't working, there was a cop, a guard, and I said, "Can you make the lift work? Am I doing something wrong?" And he said, "Oh no, sorry, it seems to be out of order." And he carried up my handbag and my clipboard with my evidence, carried it upstairs, and he made sure that I was allowed to sit outside the court until I was due to be called at 11:30. I got there for 10 and I was already in agony. But then in the court, he flipped and he told the judge that the documents I'd presented indicated I'd only taken out insurance the day after getting stopped in August 2023, which was an absolute untruth. And if I'd listened harder to my legal counselors, I would have said, I'm presuming you're acting under your oath as court sergeant and a member of On Guard Corner, and I'm asking you, are you stating that as a fact under penalty of perjury? Because if so, he could have been liable for 7 years in jail. And I've since proven that I've had uninterrupted insurance with the same broker for years. And I've got in writing that I didn't need to attend the adjournment. And the minute I said to the judge, I'm here under duress, she got nervous. And like we have to educate ourselves. It's like the January Sixers. It's also like the people in England that got put away for Facebook posts and, for saying things like, I won't even repeat them in case I get this taken down, but for saying really silly things. So Evan has taken a plea deal, and I have actually suggested to him that he appeal it and say I agreed to that under duress. Um, you know, it's very easy to scare somebody who's been in care from the age of 4 to 16, been horrendously abused in care and neglected, and been raped in a group home and run away to the UK and then got abused there, then got extradited, now trying to settle back in. It's very easy to intimidate such a 16-year-old and somehow flip it that instead of them reporting horrendous Tusla neglect and abuse and a in a group care home, all of a sudden they are the criminal. And the only way they can bring up any of what happened to them is if they get the opportunity to make a mitigating circumstances statement. And probably their solicitor will take that over and do that for them. So I thoroughly, I've learned that not all solicitors are bad all the time. There was a solicitor, still is, in my town called John Pryor. And when my ex-husband kidnapped my sons, uh, I went to him for help and he wrote a letter. It should have cost me €100. He didn't charge me. And within 5 days, I had both my sons returned. The letter was sent to the school, the corrupt guard in the town, um, all authorities, the GP, everybody, and I had my sons back. So not all solicitors are bad, like not all coppers are bastards, but I've been told that by assigning a solicitor to your case, you are declaring yourself as incompetent to present yourself. So basically, you're declaring yourself an imbecile who needs somebody who's made an oath to the crown, the bar. Even in Ireland, they still pledge to the crown, like the English. It's madness. So you're very well capable, Evan, of presenting your own case. The only thing that would have you take a plea deal, the same as the Jan Sixers that have been locked up for years, and the people in Britain, and even some that have been pepper sprayed and abused in Ireland, don't fall for the seduction of, if you just plead to this lesser charge, I'll make sure, the judge goes easy on you. No, if you're not guilty, you're not guilty. And if you did something in self-defense and terror and traumatization, then tell the judge why you were traumatized and why you felt cornered like an animal, and why you feel harassed and why the tables are being turned on you to turn the whistleblowers into criminals, you know, pleading for their lives and their liberty. No, we've all got to be willing to go to jail now. We've all got to be willing and trust in God. Trust in God, because He will do the miracles that no barrister or slimy solicitor can promise you. Oh, just plead to this. And I said to Evan, and I've seen this in, from my own experience working with mothers, couples, and as a Mackenzie friend on one occasion, even that judge was so wonderful to me, but he still took the baby, and the baby ended up being forced adopted, and the father ended up unaliving himself. Absolute tragedy, no matter how nice Justice Gibbons was to me in Monaghan Court in August, all those years ago. But I said to Evan, this is a way they also confiscate children, is they convince mothers, if you just agree to 28 days of us taking the child, you're much more likely to get your child back. And it's not true. The minute you agree, my child's not safe with me, and I'm talking to good mothers, obviously, there are the occasional not good parents and I will share with Andrew Gine and others examples of those not good parents who leave their children unattended and soiled and hungry and traumatized. There are parents that are not safe, and yet my observation is the majority of the time parents are bullied into you can't even call it bullying, it's grooming. They are groomed into surrendering their children with the fake hope that by just agreeing to a little bit, they've got a better chance of getting their children back. It's like, well, it's the same kind of grooming that goes on if you just jump through all these hoops, if you just go for a psychological evaluation, if you just do a parenting class. If you just do this, do that, do the other, you've got a better chance of getting your children back, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the time it's just grooming. So Evan is free. He's still very stressed. I say free. No, his case was adjourned today because he took a plea deal and pled guilty to things that they shouldn't be even on the table. What should be on the table is what happened to Evan for the last 12 years. Well, even his first 4 years were not a bed of roses, but he's been in care from 4 till 16. The child is in trauma. The child is a miracle to be still alive and walking. And instead of him being supported, he's now pled guilty and his case is adjourned till November for sentencing. So my recommendation is to advocates, survivors, peaceful protesters, and good parents, stop taking plea deals and stop trusting slick-tongued solicitors and barristers and judges that talk you a good talk, and then you end up with a criminal record and your credibility is gone, your reputation is gone, and you will know deep inside yourself, wait a minute, I was just defending myself. You know, I was cornered like an animal. You know, I was just having a natural reaction. And to say that if a wounded child in care says to a social worker that's cornering them, I'm going to kill you, that's not a threat to kill. Shut up. Shut up. You shouldn't be a social worker if you can't deal with wounded teenagers. You know, how many teenagers have said to their parents, I hate you, I wish you were dead? That's not a threat to kill. That's a child crying out for some help. If I'm wrong, believe you me, I will fess up. If I turn out to be wrong, that Evan is of good character and incredible strength and just needs support to navigate his way through the rest of his teenage years without ending up being raped again in prison or juvenile hall. For God's sake, if we can't protect our children. Anyway, Angie Power Disney, please subscribe. You know, loads of people have been unsubscribed. Follow me on Facebook, Angela Teresa Power Disney, and follow Evan Dennehy of the Family Christ. He is on Facebook. And he's devastated because he's shadow banned now. He was viral a year ago and now he's shadow banned and it's hurting him. But we should only be going live and truth telling because for the sake of the truth, not to be a superstar, not to be an influencer, not to be a YouTube guru or whatever. We should be telling the truth because it's the only right thing to do. So I just covet your prayers. Father God, I just pray for a de-escalation of this stressful day for a 16-year-old. I even pray for his social workers and his carers in the home he's in. I pray that everybody would calm down and call out to God, not solicitors, judges, and barristers. Call out to God and try and navigate our way through this insanity. All right, people, God bless.